Street fights don't look anything like the movies or what you see inside the ring. They're violent, chaotic, and brutally unforgiving. A lot of the punching advice people trust is downright idiotic, and in a real fight, it can get you seriously hurt or even worse. Today, I'm exposing 5 of the dumbest ways to break your hands in a fight that coaches and instructors still teach. Let's check it out. If you know anything about me and this channel, you know I do not sugarcoat anything. I call out failed combat systems, expose BS martial art techniques, and teach only what actually works in real violence. And when it comes to punching, bad advice is everywhere. People are still being taught techniques that completely fall apart the moment the gloves come off and the adrenaline spikes. Today, I'm breaking down 5 of the dumbest ways to break your hand in a street fight. And more importantly, I'm showing you what actually works in the chaos of real violence. And stick around until the end, because the final mistake is one you need to fix immediately, whether you're a martial artist, a self-defense student, or a survivalist. Number 1. Some punches are built for fantasy. Others are built for raw violence. And that distinction matters because once the adrenaline hits, once the target is moving, once the distance collapses, and once the fight turns ugly, a lot of flashy punching starts falling apart fast. Here are just 2 examples. The back fist is mechanically pathetic for real violence. It's a weak, snapping slap masquerading as a punch. It has no real stopping power and no business being trusted in an actual street fight. It looks slick in choreographed demos and martial arts cosplay, but once real chaos hits and people start crashing, covering, and swinging like animals, it becomes what it always was, a flashy gimmick sold to gullible martial artists. And because the mechanics are so structurally stupid, you can easily fracture the small bones on the back of your hand when it lands wrong on a hard target. So not only is it weak, it can injure the idiot throwing it. Then there's chain punching, the beloved garbage of Wingdom, Kung Fu, and Jeet Kune Do. It prioritizes speed and volume over structure, power, and real damage. It's sold as aggressive and overwhelming, but in reality, it looks absurd. Grown men charging forward with their arms pumping like idiots, throwing a frantic stream of weak, panic punches with no real stopping power and no real precision. In a real fight, that is a great way to damage your own hands. When you start machine gunning punches without clear targeting, your fists start crashing into the skull, forehead, elbows, teeth, and whatever gets in the way. That is how you jam your wrist, smash your knuckles, and break your hands throwing a flurry of useless garbage. Number 2. Here's a mistake I see all the time. People trying to use glove punches in a street fight like the gloves are still on. Sport fighting is built around gloves, hand wraps, rules, and a protected environment. Those gloves absorb shock, protect the hands, and let fighters get away with punches that become much riskier the second the gloves come off. What looks powerful and effective in the ring can become stupid on the streets. The same punch that works with a 16-ounce glove can break your hand, wreck your wrist, or smash into the wrong target when there's nothing to protect you. That's why recklessly using gloved punches in the streets is such a dangerous mistake. A perfect example is the horizontal hook punch taught in boxing and MMA. With gloves on, fighters can get away with that horizontal fist position because the glove protects the hand and absorbs the shock. Bare knuckle that same punch and it's much riskier and can cause a boxer's fracture if it lands wrong on hard bone. A better street adaptation is the vertical hook punch. Turning the fist vertically creates stronger structural support throughout the hand, wrist, and it allows the punch to sustain greater impact force than the horizontal version. This is how you modify a glove punch for bare knuckle combat. Shut Up and Learn is coming soon, and it's going to be the most controversial, no holds barred book ever written on martial arts, street fighting, and actual self-defense. This isn't another feel-good martial arts book. It's a straight 300-page autopsy of what actually works when the gloves come off and the bullshit stops. I break down the hard lessons, the brutal truths, and the street realities most instructors are too scared to touch, complete with step-by-step photographs that teach you exactly how to fight when it counts. If you're tired of theory and ready for the truth, this book is for you. Number 3. A lot of people assume they'll still punch with clean, precise techniques once the chaos hits. That is dangerously wrong. Adrenaline does not sharpen your skills. It destroys precision. Fear, sudden violence, and overwhelming stress can cause most people to start throwing wild, blind, desperate punches with zero control. Those swings don't just destroy accuracy. They destroy structure, balance, and power. Your hand ends up smashing into elbows, skulls, or hard bone at bad angles. And suddenly, the punch you threw becomes the one that takes you out of the fight. You must train yourself to stay composed enough to throw tight, structured punches, and you must understand probable reaction dynamics. If you want to fully understand how an opponent's body reacts in real fighting and how to exploit those reactions for maximum effectiveness, check out my book, Maximum Damage: Hidden Secrets Behind Brutal Fighting Combinations. In it, I break down how people instinctively respond to different types of punches, how to predict their movements, and how to stay one step ahead of them in the fight. If you don't understand probable reaction dynamics, you're just guessing, and guessing is not a strategy. I'll put a link in the description down below if you'd like to check it out. And if you prefer video instruction, I have a full featured training video by the same title, which takes an even deeper dive into reaction dynamics in real combat. It's available for sale on my website at sammyfranco.com. And if you're a War Machine Elite member, you can watch it for free inside the members only section of this channel. And if you're not already a member, click the join button below to check out all the different membership options we have available. Number 4. A lot of people obsess over punching mechanics, but completely ignore hand conditioning, which is a huge mistake. Your hands are not indestructible, and if you never prepare them for impact, you are gambling every time you throw a bare-knuckled punch. Gloves, pads, and hand wraps can create a false sense of security. They let people hit hard in training without ever teaching the hand how to deal with real contact against bone, resistance, and imperfect impact angles. Then, when the gloves come off, that false confidence gets exposed real fast. If you expect your punching to work on the street, you need to regularly train bare knuckle on the heavy bag. No excuses. Hand conditioning builds real durability, teaches respect for impact, and dramatically lowers the chance that your own punch becomes the injury that ends your night. Hey, we're about to get back into the video, but let me ask you something. Do you want to legitimately accelerate your self-defense skills? And are you sick of clickbait videos teaching absolute garbage? Or tired of being misled by unqualified wannabe experts who have zero credibility or experience? If the answer is yes, now is the time to join my War Machine memberships. As a member, you're going to get exclusive access to in-depth training videos, exclusive full-feature video content, downloadable training PDFs, and direct insights you're not going to find anywhere else. Plus, You're gonna have direct access to me in the comment section of all my videos. So if you have questions, you're gonna get real, detailed answers from me and not some random keyboard warrior. So if you're serious about mastering real-world combat skills, hit the join button below and start training like a true war machine. Now, let's get back to the lesson. And now, the fifth and final mistake people make when punching is improper fist positioning. And this leads us to the critical importance of wrist stacking. Today, I'm going to teach you a structural punching skill that can dramatically improve your ability to throw a bare-fisted punch without your wrist collapsing. It's a small adjustment most people are completely unaware of, but when you apply it, your punch becomes dramatically stronger and far more stable in real combat. Let me show you 3 different fist configurations so you can understand exactly what's happening structurally. Each one has advantages. Each one has limitations. Fist position number 1. This is the standard fist most people use. The thumb wraps across both the index and middle finger. It's functional and widely taught. If the wrist is properly aligned, this position works. But structurally, most of the stability comes from muscular tension in the forearm. The thumb isn't adding much reinforcement to the radial side of the hand. Under impact, this fist position relies heavily on muscular tension to maintain stability. If alignment degrades even slightly, the wrist can lose structural integrity under load. With this configuration, there's less built-in reinforcement, so stability depends more on perfect mechanics and forearm engagement. It's functional, but it's not maximally reinforced. Fist position number 2. This version changes the thumb position. Instead of wrapping evenly across both fingers, the thumb rides higher along the index finger. That higher thumb position increases muscular engagement along the radial side of the hand, which increases joint stiffness and improves alignment of the second metacarpal with the radius under load. From a pure structural standpoint, this is the strongest of the 3. The drawback is practicality. The elevated thumb position can interfere during fast, repetitive punching. It's extremely stable, but not ideal for body shots and compound attacks. Fist position number 3. This is the version I recommend. It maintains reinforcement, but streamlines the thumb enough to allow smooth punching mechanics. You still get increased muscular engagement and improved radial side alignment compared to the standard fist, but without the snagging issue of position number 2. It's a balance between structural integrity and functionality. You're not just clenching your hands. You're aligning bone behind bone so the force transfers cleanly from knuckles through your wrist into your forearm. Okay, enough talk. Let's bring Tommy out and test the different fist configurations so you can see it for yourself. Okay, Tommy, come on out. So again, typically in martial arts, MMA, and boxing, what they do is they roll the fingers inside the palm and they bring the thumb over the index and middle finger. So we're gonna have Tommy replicate that. Roll it in, good. We're gonna bring it out right here so they can see it. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna bend this wrist with all my might. Tommy, you're gonna resist. Okay, so super strong, but again, it bends. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll the fingers inside the palm and we're gonna place that thumb right above that index finger like I demonstrated in the video. Okay, so time to make a fist, roll it in, place it right on top here. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna test the integrity of this now. Okay. There's no way that wrist bends. This is much greater structural integrity. Now, for some of you smartasses out there who say, you're not gonna have time to line that thumb up just right over that index finger. No, you're not gonna have time to do that. That's why you practice it over and over again so it becomes an actual instinctual fist clenching position. It takes practice, just like anything you do in martial arts or reality-based self-defense. As we get older, we don't always have the same wrist and forearm strength we had in our 20s. Grip strength declines, tissue elasticity changes, joint tolerance shifts. That makes structural efficiency even more important when punching. Conditioning still matters. In contemporary fighting arts, we place heavy emphasis on forearm development and grip strength training. I cover this extensively in my War Machine book and program. I'll put a link in the description down below if you want to check it out. Wrist stacking is not a replacement for conditioning, but it reduces how much raw muscular tension you need to maintain structural integrity when punching. It improves mechanical stability through alignment, not just strength. In real violence, your hands can break in an instant, your accuracy can collapse, and bad mechanics get punished immediately. If your punching game still depends on gloves, flashy exotic punching techniques, panic swinging, or unconditioned hands, you're setting yourself up for serious trouble when it counts. You need to train for reality. Build punches that are simple, powerful, and built to survive chaos. Protect your hands like your life depends on it, because it does. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys at the next video.
From the ancient Colosseum, where gladiators lived and died, to the storm-torn seas, where iron met flesh upon shattered decks, to the battlefield, where wrath carved kingdoms in blood, bone, and steel, we follow the War Machine. War Machine Chronicles celebrates the warrior archetype, the ethos society seeks to suppress, to soften, to erase. From the age of iron and blood, where warriors roared defiance in the face of death, to all men who still feel the war drum beat beneath their skin, written for fighters, soldiers, and survivors. For those who still walk the edge, it is transformation, forged to harden the mind, discipline the body, and sharpen the will. War Machine Chronicles, not just a book, it's a sacred codex of wrath. Over 300 pages, more than 100 haunting illustrations, combat verse, and lethal philosophy forged by Sammy Franco. War Machine Chronicles, not just a story, but a weapon. It teaches, it tests, it transforms. War Machine Chronicles, available now on Amazon in hardcover, paperback, and Kindle.